December 27th, 2012, a day that was over 10 years ago. What was I doing? Well, I was playing my new Madden franchise mode, specifically in my basement. And, Madden franchise being my favorite, I love rebuilding teams. I love putting teams together that are my vision. And you know what my vision for a wide receiver core was? Wide receiver 1, Santana Moss, my favorite player of all time, one of the best Redskins receivers of all time, an absolute legend. But he's not forgotten. But these next 3 receivers are incredibly forgotten. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at my Madden 12 receiving core in the next episode of Forgotten NFL Wide Receivers. My number 2 receiver was none other than the Heartstopper, a.k.a. Brian Hartline. And Brian Hartline was born November 22nd, 1986 in Canton, Ohio. And he's a former NFL wide receiver and currently actually a coach, known for his precise route running, really solid hands, and leadership on and off the field. Hartline was able to play 7 seasons in the NFL and was primarily a player for the Miami Dolphins. And then after his playing career, he did transition into coaching and has become actually a really good standout offensive coordinator. Now, Brian Hartline, like I said, grew up in Canton, Ohio, and he was a multi-sport athlete at Glen Oak High School. And in addition to football, he was also really great at track, where he won several titles. He attended Ohio State University, where he played from 2005 to 2008 as a Buckeye, and he was a productive, good receiver. At Ohio State, he had 90 catches, 1,400 yards, and 12 touchdowns, and he helped Ohio State win multiple Big Ten championships. He was known for his intelligence on the field, and he became a mentor to younger players coming in. Then it came time for the NFL. Hartline was selected in the 4th round, 108th overall of the 2009 NFL Draft by the Miami Dolphins, and he immediately established himself as a contributor on special teams, and he finished his rookie season with 30 catches, 500 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Now, Hartline was with the Dolphins from 2009 to 2014, and you know what? He actually showcased his ability as a really solid receiver there. 2012 was a breakout year for Hartline, where he recorded 74 catches and nearly 1,100 receiving yards, including a 253-yard performance against the Arizona Cardinals Week 4, which remains one of the highest single-game receiving totals in NFL history. In 2013, he followed up with another 1,000-yard season, where he caught 76 passes for 1,000 yards and 4 touchdowns, and became the first Dolphins receiver since 2001 to record back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. Known for a consistent route runner and his ability to make contested catches, Hartline became one of Ryan Tannehill's most trusted targets during Tannehill's early years as Miami's quarterback. In 2015, Hartline would sign with his hometown team, the Cleveland Browns, and he played 1 season, catching 46 passes for 500 yards and 2 touchdowns, but injuries unfortunately began to creep in and seriously limited his impact, and he was actually released after the season, unfortunately. Hartline's career stats, he recorded 344 catches, a little under 5,000 receiving yards, and had 14 touchdowns, and of course, like I already mentioned, that notable 253 receiving yard game. He had really great off-the-field leadership and was known as a total professional and mentor to younger players, and he really worked tirelessly to perfect his craft. And then he transitioned to coaching after retiring in 2015. He returned to Ohio State in 2017, which would begin the rise of a meteoric rise to the coaching ranks. That would also lead to a interesting drinking incident that you'll see in the video, but I'm not going to comment too much on that. Like I said, he did join Ohio State's coaching staff in 2017, where he became actually one of their better recruiters and developers of wide receiver talent. He has recruited and developed several NFL caliber wideouts, including Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, and Jackson Smith-Njigba, and Marvin Harrison Jr. Under his guidance, he's really developed some great NFL players, and now he's their offensive coordinator. Brian Hartline's legacy is a testament of, hard work, maximizing one's potentials and opportunities, and honestly, I respect him for knowing when to call it quits, knowing that it was probably time to wrap up his career and just getting out of there and going to something he definitely was passionate about, coaching. His NFL journey is not one of a Hall of Famer. It's not like Brian Hartline is the greatest of all time, but Brian Hartline was a really solid receiver and made a great wide receiver 2 on my Madden 12 franchise. My wide receiver 3 on my Madden franchise is none other than Steve Breaston, born August 20th, 1983, in North Braddock, Pennsylvania. He's a former NFL wide receiver and return specialist known for his crazy speed, agility, and versatility. Steve Breaston had a productive football career that spanned 6 NFL seasons, and he made a name for himself as like a really good playmaker, excelling as both a receiver and a returner. And Breaston's journey from college star at Michigan to reliable NFL player is a really strong story of perseverance, skill, and making the most of your opportunities. So, like I said, Steve Breaston grew up in the Pittsburgh area, and he was a standout athlete at Woodlands Hills High School, and then went to college at Michigan. That speed, that elusiveness made him one of the most dangerous players in open space, and he had fantastic stats at college with over 150 career receptions, 1,700 yards, and 10 touchdowns, and 1,993 return yards, which was at the time a school record. And then, as for some good achievements for him, he was named the MVP of the 2005 Rose Bowl after compiling 315 all-purpose yards against Texas, and then he finished his college career as Michigan's all-time leader in punt and kick return yards. Now, coming to the NFL, Steve Breaston was selected in the 5th round, 142nd overall of the 2007 draft by the Arizona Cardinals, and he entered the league as what people thought was going to be a special teams ace, but he actually really became a reliable wide receiver. Steve Breaston was with the Cardinals from 2007 to 2010, and it was certainly a walking highlight. Like I said, he started as a return specialist, but really became a solid receiver. In 2008, Breaston actually really broke out and became part of the Three Amigos receiving corps, along with Larry Fitz and Anquan Boldin. He posted a 1,000-yard season with 77 catches and 3 touchdowns, helping the Cardinals reach the Super Bowl in 2008. And in the Super Bowl, he actually contributed really well with 6 catches and 71 yards in a close loss. From 2009 to 2010, Breaston became remained a key contributor, totaling 712 receiving yards in 2009 and 718 in 2010. Now, let me be honest with you guys for a super quick second. The only reason I brought Steve Breaston onto my NFL franchise was because I love boobs, and his name was Breaston. That is purely the only reason why. I love boobs, still love boobs. Breaston is, breast, so that was the only reason I actually brought him onto my franchise. But moving on, the Kansas City Chiefs signed him in 2011, where he signed a 5-year, $22 million contract, and in his first season, he had a good season, recording 61 catches for 785 yards and 2 touchdowns, showing reliability as a secondary target. However, unfortunately, his production seriously dropped in 2012, where he only appeared in 10 games and only recorded 7 catches, and the Chiefs released him after the season. The Saints signed him in 2013, but he was released during training camp and unfortunately retired due to having nasty knee injuries that really hampered his explosiveness and durability. Steve Breaston played in 96 games, had 255 receptions, and 3,387 receiving yards with 9 touchdowns, also netting 4,267 kick and punt yards combined. Like I said, he had a really strong performance in that Super Bowl, was a part of those Three Amigos of great wide receivers on the Cardinals at the time, and unfortunately, knee injuries do take out explosive players like this. Now, Steve Breaston is no household name, but his name being Boobs certainly always stuck out to my head, which is why I still remember him from Madden 12. And now, in his hometown, he is supporting youth sports initiatives in Pennsylvania, which is fantastic. His journey is a story about maximizing potentials from a standout to Michigan to a key contributor on a Super Bowl team. Breaston left a really strong mark during his career, even if he won't be a forever Hall of Famer or any sort of legend like that. Our wide receiver 4 on our Madden 12 NFL franchise is none other than Josh Morgan. Josh Morgan was born June 20th, 1985 in Washington, D.C., and is a former NFL wide receiver known for great hands, some physicality, and ability to come up in clutch situations. Over a 7-year NFL career, Morgan played for the 49ers, the Redskins, and the Bears, and he earned the reputation as a really, just solid, dependable possession receiver. Like I said, he grew up in D.C., and he attended Howard D. Woodson High School. And he excelled in football and basketball, but, was truly a standout at football. He then went to college at Virginia Tech from 2004 to 2007, and didn't play much his freshman year, but from 2005 to 2007 became a really good part of that Hokies offense, finishing his college career with 122 catches for 1,800 yards and 16 touchdowns, and actually occasionally contributed on special teams. Known as also a good blocking receiver, it truly made him a full-on asset. Morgan was drafted by the 49ers in the 6th round, 174th overall, the 2008 NFL Draft, and despite being a late-round pick, he quickly earned a spot on the roster and became a good contributor. In his rookie season, he caught 20 passes for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, showing some promise, but then from 2009 to 2011, he actually became a really consistent starter, finishing with a career-high 52 catches for 700 yards and 2 touchdowns in 2010, and really became known as a tough, strong player. Great catches in traffic and such. His tenure in San Fran was actually cut short by a broken leg in 2011, which ended his season after just 5 games, unfortunately. But Morgan was able to sign a 5-year, $12 million contract with the Redskins in 2012, making a little bit of a hometown reunion, a little homecoming for him in the D.C. area. In the 2012 season, he actually played a really key role in the Redskins offense, catching 48 passes for 500 yards and 2 touchdowns, which was really important for that playoff run. His most notable moment, though, came in Week 2. With a loss against the Rams when a late game unsportsmanlike conduct of him throwing the ball at the defender cost Washington a chance at getting a game-tying field goal. And, despite the backlash, Morgan continued to contribute consistently throughout the season. In 2013, Morgan saw a little bit of a reduced role, but remained a decent depth receiver, finishing the year with 20 catches for 200 yards. Morgan would end up signing with the Bears in 2014, appearing in 6 games and catching 10 passes for 70 yards, but his role just continued to diminish due to competition from younger receivers, and he was released after the season. Josh Morgan's career stats came out to 79 games played, 200 catches, 2,500 yards, and 11 touchdowns, and even had 282 rushing yards on 26 carries, showing a little bit of that, running threat. He was a hometown hero. He had the costly penalty, but truly Josh Morgan was a tough receiver with a really good blocking ability, which is what kept him in the league for so long. He was able to overcome that crazy broken leg injury in 2011, which is outstanding. And now Morgan returned to his home of Washington, D.C., where he's been involved in the community outreach programs for youth football programs. He has actually expressed a desire to mentor young athletes, which I think is a great thing, and he's dabbled in entrepreneurship with ventures in fitness training and real estate. Josh Morgan's NFL career is not, like I said, again, some Hall of Famer. He's not some All-Pro, but you know what? He was a good NFL player, a tough player with good blocking ability and a reliable hand. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys enjoyed this, please make sure you check out the other Forgotten Wide Receiver video. If you enjoyed this little special peek into my childhood, make sure you drop a sub, drop a like. I am the Gabe Sayers believer. I love making videos about forgotten players, but you all should also check out some of my, current NFL opinions, like one I did about Jaden Daniels, one I did about young quarterbacks, or even my worst playoff teams of all time video. I certainly hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, I love making these. Santana Moss is still the GOAT, my forever favorite wide receiver. And make sure you check out my Instagram, link in bio. Check out my wrestling company named TF Crew, also in the bio. Ladies and gentlemen, stay safe. Make sure you smoke crack, eat drywall, and I will be seeing all of you guys again very, very soon for another Gabe Sayers Believer video.